night's main event just went off the air in San Antonio, Texas. We saw the return of a number of legends, a breakout performance for Jacob Fatu, and the road to the Royal Rumble is on fire. Let's talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy on the spot for Watch Along Wrestling. Thanks so much for checking out the video. I just wrapped Saturday night's main event tonight and honestly had a great time watching it. Myself and the fam watched this thing live. Very rare for me to be able to be home to watch one of these shows, but honestly I was excited about the show leading up through the day, and I think that my excitement continued to build and honestly was satiated. At the end of the day, I thought that every match on this show was either solid to very good. And honestly, I thought the moment of the show and the segment of the show certainly was the contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. They have built this up so well to the point that it looks like these two guys just absolutely hate each other. I like the involvement of Shawn Michaels to an extent. It was great to see Shawn Michaels come out, get the hometown welcome. I enjoyed him kind of egging on Kevin Owens a bit and saying, Kevin, to be honest, you just sound jealous. And I thought that played into the story really well. The one piece that I'm a little trepidatious about is that, and if you haven't seen this, go check it out and come back and watch the review if you want to, because I'm going to start to get into some spoilers, but I don't think you're going to be tuning into a review video if you don't want spoilers. But I thought the one part that went too far for me was Shawn Michaels laying out Kevin Owens with the sweet chin music. Now, we do still have Raw and we do still have SmackDown before the Royal Rumble, so they can get this where Kevin Owens will get the last kind of upper hand on Cody Rhodes. But to me, this was such a good segment. You could easily have made this the go-home segment to their match at the Royal Rumble. When they were going at it and they were exchanging, jabs at one another, I really felt that, wow, with so much intensity between the two of them, they could really end the pay-per-view on Saturday, the Royal Rumble show, with this match, the ladder match for the world title. But then they had Shawn Michaels lay out Kevin Owens with sweet chin music, and not much excuse for that. Right now, I think Kevin Owens is the hottest heel in the company. I think the work he's been doing throughout this entire program with Cody Rhodes is just next level. It's so good, and I feel like he's kind of gone into some of the best work that he's done, and that really speaks volumes because I think he's one of the best performers WWE has. But it's been so good, and to have Shawn Michaels lay him out is like, if the plan is to have Kevin Owens win the title at the Rumble, okay, fine. No one will remember it. But if not, I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't do anything for me. And honestly, I really don't think he's going to be winning the title at the Royal Rumble. So to me, that kind of left a little bit of a weird taste in my mouth. I don't say I hated it, but I think I would have been so much more impactful for me if he picks up Shawn Michaels, hits him with a pop-up powerbomb right through the table. Imagine the heel heat and imagine the continued build then for this match at the Rumble. But overall, great segment. Both showed a lot of fire, and at the end, you thought, boy, these guys really hate each other, and I can't wait to see what happens at the ladder match at the Royal Rumble. So from a go-home perspective for this match, they've done such a good job building this match, and they don't always do that with the Royal Rumble. Last year's Royal Rumble world title match, the Fatal 4-Way, not built up like this at all, and they don't have to because the Rumbles themselves sell the Royal Rumble. So for them to put the effort in here, I do appreciate it as someone who's going to the Rumble, and I think that now it's not only the Rumble I'm looking forward to, but also this main event and this match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. So great stuff overall. Another thing I really enjoyed on this show, and they got me, hook, line, and sinker. When Jey Uso hits the big splash off the top rope, I think my whole family stopped for a second, because I think all of us going into this match, we like Jey Uso. The kids absolutely love Jey Uso, and we all were pretty convinced he wasn't going to be beating Gunther for the world title. But when he hit that big splash, the way they shot that, the way that everything looked, whew, they got me good. I thought Jey was about to win the title, and I was thinking we were going 4-0 on the baby faces again on this show. Well, I guess 2-3-1. I guess Braun Breaker did win and defeat Sheamus, but I thought another heel was about to lose, but it was not to be. Gunther got up last second, hit a couple of power bombs out of desperation though, and got the win. And I thought Gunther was great here. And he's a heel, but he's the type of heel that he has no problem giving the respect when it's deserved from the baby faces. And I think that's what kind of adds a different dimension to Gunther, and something that I really appreciate. At the end of this match, he looked exhausted, and he looked like, wow, Jay's a lot better than I thought he was. And honestly, I think a lot of us felt that this was a really great showing for Jey Uso. At least I did. Really strong stuff. Even though Jey Uso didn't win the title, he certainly doesn't need the title. The guy is one of the most over guys in the company. I think he's probably selling more merch than anyone, maybe other than Cody and CM Punk. He is right there on the top of the cards, and I think he's doing really strong stuff. Probably Roman too, I guess, but he's right behind those three. And I think he's doing great. I don't think he needs the title. Would have been. I think they could have given it to him. I don't think it would have been a problem. But what a fun wrinkle that would have been going now into the Royal Rumble. But they don't do short title reigns, especially not for Gunther. 666 days as the Intercontinental Champion. He's only at 175 here. Didn't expect him to lose the title, but a really strong main event. And I thought one of Jay's better in-ring singles matches, for sure, if not his best. Next up on this show, we did see the Intercontinental title on the line as it was Braun Breaker defending the championship against Sheamus, who came up short again. Now, I say that not because I remember all the times that Sheamus has come up short in his pursuit of the Intercontinental Championship. I probably remember a few of them. I remember the classic matches against Gunther. I remember the incredible match with Gunther and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 39. But I didn't realize how many it had been until Michael Cole reminds everyone to start this match that Sheamus was going for his 10th attempt at the Intercontinental title. And he lost again. I don't see the point of them mentioning that he has failed at this now 10 times, because it kind of just makes Sheamus look like a loser. I mean, what are we doing? Why are we mentioning that Sheamus has lost 10 times going for this Intercontinental title? At some point, you got to throw in the towel, right? I mean, let's talk about it. If the Buffalo Bills lose tomorrow, you can't help but throw your hands up and say, well, what the hell are we going to do? We can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And at the end of the day, that's exactly how I felt here watching this match with Sheamus and Braun Breaker. What the heck is Sheamus going to do? He ain't ever winning this Intercontinental title. And maybe that's the longer story they're telling, but to me, it didn't do anyone any favors to mention that Sheamus has lost now, and he was going for his 10th attempt at the IC title. My goodness, and then he lost. I mean, sheesh, just made no sense. That being said, great match. Sheamus always delivers in the ring. The guy has had a career renaissance here. If I could speak, it'd be great. He's had a career renaissance here in his mid-40s, and he's just been incredible in the ring. And Braun Breaker continues to get better, have these great matches. I wish they'd use Braun Breaker a little bit better. I think he could certainly contribute to the show more so than being in the crowd and waving to everybody. But that being said, rather than looking menacing, how about he has some good matches, because the guy delivers most times in ring. Jesse the Body Ventura was back for this, by the way, and was on commentary, and I think my buddies over in the chat made a mention that he must have been trying to get fired. The guy has no filter, and honestly, I don't think they mind. I think they like having him there. It's something completely different. And they've done a good job in building up the legends for this Saturday night's main event overall. It wasn't only just the Buddy Ventura. They did a good job showing the legends in the crowd. $1 Million Man showing up in a limo. He was also in the crowd. The Brainbusters were in the crowd. They showed Dory Funk Jr., who looked great. I honestly, first time seeing Dory Funk Jr. on a live television in a long period of time. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, oh, he was in the crowd, and it was cool to see him. So I think there was a few others as well. Mark Henry was there for sure. And I just think it's nice. It's nice to see the legends out there. They certainly don't take away from anything by being featured, and I think they really add a lot to these Saturday Night Main Event broadcasts. And it's nice to even hear like Mark Henry, who obviously was not involved with Saturday Night's Main Event back in its heyday, but had a match on a 2006 edition of Saturday Night's Main Event, which they made mention of. And I think it's cool to kind of even tie that piece back into this mention here of him being shown in the crowd. So I love the inclusion of the legends. It separates Saturday Night's Main Event out from the other TV shows by having them prominently featured. But again, it's just them in the crowd, so they're not taking away from anything of today's product. Also on this show here, we did see, and honestly, I think what this show will probably go down as being remembered most for is really the kind of rise of Jacob Fatu as he did not defeat, right? A lot of us had Jacob Fatu defeating Braun Strowman, but instead they had themselves a match, and Braun Strowman actually beat Jacob Fatu via DQ, but Fatu just went nuts, completely unhinged, hit splash after splash after splash on Braun Strowman, broke his nose. Strowman was bleeding. I don't know if that was a shoot injury or if that was part of what we were doing here, but it looked gruesome. My wife couldn't believe it because we haven't seen blood in WWE on TV in a really long time. I mean, I know we saw obviously plenty of blood in the Hell in a Cell match, but that was on a premium live event. This here on national television, I highly doubt was part of the show. I think this was a shoot injury here for Braun Strowman. I hope he's okay, but I can't help but smile because as Fatu is destroying Braun Strowman, the crowd is chanting one more time, the crowd is chanting Fatu, and they were just loving this guy and seeing him have this moment. And it wasn't only this particular match. Yeah, they went hard, they went really heavy in this match. They did a really good job, I thought, beating the crap out of one another. But it was also the backstage promo, and I think Tama Tonga is so good in his role. Him being kind of the hype man to get everyone ready for Fatu as he comes to the ring and they walk through Gorilla, and then Jacob Fatu getting a chance to speak and cut promos now. This is the second one that he's cut, I'd say, in the last week or two, and he's just been awesome. He's such a presence. He's so different from everything else. I would not be stunned, and I would not be opposed if this guy wins the Royal Rumble on Sunday. I'm sure they're going to do something where he certainly has a good presence, assuming he's in the match. He hasn't been announced, but he knocks everybody out, and he has this big deal where he's just clearing house, and he's kind of getting the Diesel spot, and then maybe he becomes unhinged and ends up getting thrown over the top rope. But if they decided to go with Jacob Fatu all the way, I would not be somebody to complain. This would be a lot of fun, and I'd even buy Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I know they've probably got something else for Cody, but I'm all on the Fatu train. I think he's unbelievable, so talented, so athletic, especially, I would say, for big men, but just in general, so athletic. And I thought this was a really great showing for him and for the Bloodline in general. Lots of fun, and shout out to Braun Strowman. The guy has really worked hard every single time out there and has certainly improved, and I really have enjoyed his second run here with WWE. Just incredible stuff, and I hope he's in the Rumble, because I was hoping for a moment with my buddies to do the whole one big SOB as he was coming out, but I don't think he's going to be there because it looked like he needed medical attention, and I don't expect that he's going to be 1 week later run down to the Royal Rumble. But I could be wrong. Sometimes they do that, so hopefully not. Overall, great match, a real breakout performance, I thought, for Jacob Fatu as well. And then what kicked us off? A solid match, Nia Jax against Rhea Ripley. Certainly my early pick of Nia Jax winning the Royal Rumble to get her revenge on Tiffany Stratton. Not looking like a good pick for yours truly. Thank goodness I didn't come on here and do my official predictions, or boy, I'd have had to tuck my tail between my legs and head home, because that is not looking good for Nia Jax. Honestly, I think she's solid. I think she's somebody else who I really enjoyed her second run with WWE, but this was all a showcase for Rhea Ripley. She came out, she had the biggest pop of the night, maybe the exception of HBK. The crowd went absolutely nuts for her. She comes across like a tippy-top star, and she got the big decisive win over Nia Jax. It's weird they moved Nia over to Raw, especially to just have her lose like this, but again, I guess maybe she's just not factoring into the WrestleMania plans, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully she will find somewhere to go for that, because I think she's worked hard throughout the year. But certainly not even much of a back and forth on this one. Rhea got a decisive win and looked good doing so. And that was Saturday night's main event in a nutshell. 4 matches. They went by rather quickly. I'd love it if we didn't have the commercial breaks during the matches. That certainly is a bit of a chore to get through, if I'm being honest. Every match had a commercial break. Obviously, I didn't notice the first time because I was there live. But yeah, definitely, if they can limit the commercials, it'd be great, but it is network television, so what are you going to do? In any event, 2 for 2 with these Saturday night's main event specials. I've really enjoyed them. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And we're going to be back here with tons more content leading right up to the Royal Rumble and beyond. Until next time, everybody, I am Tommy on the Spot. I'll catch you on the next video.